You know that moment in a movie where all hope seems lost, the hero's been sidelined, the villain's winning, and the whole crew is falling apart? Then, just when everything's at its lowest, the music swells, the doors fly open, and the star walks back in slow motion, head held high, ready to save the day? Yeah, that's Caitlin Clark. Right now, for the Indiana Fever, for the entire WNBA, honestly. Because after weeks of speculation, injury updates, cryptic practice footage, and enough when is she coming back? Tweets to fill an arena. Coach Stephanie White finally confirmed what fans have been dying to hear. If you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe. Caitlin Clark is returning to the court, and not a second too soon. The Fever have been, to put it politely, hanging on by a thread. Injuries have decimated the roster. Sophie Cunningham, out. Lexie Hull, playing through what looks like a full-blown action movie stunt double injury with multiple black eyes. Ari McDonald, also hurt. It's been like watching a survival challenge where half the contestants are limping and the rest are playing musical chairs with the starting lineup. This team didn't just need a boost. They needed a miracle. And that miracle is wearing number 22, ready to shoot from the logo like she never left. But let's not pretend this is just about basketball. Caitlin Clark's return is bigger than stats, bigger than standings. It's about energy, identity, hope, the kind of intangible momentum shift that doesn't show up in a box score but changes everything. Because even on the bench, Clark's presence has loomed large. She's not just a star, she's a star. The kind of generational talent that moves needle, sells tickets, and pulls cameras in her direction like she's got her own gravitational field. And now, she's back, cleared, locked in, ready to reclaim the narrative. Let's talk impact. The Fever's offense without Clark? Stagnant, predictable, one-dimensional. With her? Instant chaos. For the other team, that is, she forces defenders out to the perimeter. She stretches the floor. She makes you guard every inch of the court. Because if you give her even half a breath of space, that ball is gone and likely going in. Her court vision? Next level. Her shot creation? Borderline unfair. And the chemistry she has with Leah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell? That's where things get dangerous. Defenses have to pick their poison. Guard Caitlin tight and leave the paint vulnerable, or double Boston, and pray Clark doesn't make you pay from 30 feet out. Spoiler. She will. But let's zoom out. This isn't just about the Fever fighting for a playoff spot. This is about the WNBA regaining its heartbeat. Because whether you love her, hate her, or just like watching greatness in action, Caitlin Clark moves a culture. Attendance, up. Ratings, spiking. Merch, flying. Every arena she steps into becomes an event, not just a game. And with the league already dealing with an exhausting string of injuries to big-name players, her return isn't just helpful, it's critical. She's a spark the season needs to catch fire again. You can feel the anticipation building. Fans are already flooding comment sections with "she's back" and "let's go," as if a Marvel hero just got resurrected. And honestly, that's the energy. Clark's comeback is the WNBA's plot twist. The moment where the underdog team with heart gets its leader back, and suddenly, everything's possible. The Fever, once clinging to a .500 season like a life raft, now have a real shot at shaking up the playoffs. Not just sneaking in, but disrupting. Because with Caitlin back on the court, this team isn't just fighting for survival anymore. They're gunning for impact. And don't think for 1 second she's not aware of the doubters. You've seen the takes. The critics who've questioned whether her flashy college game could translate. The haters who dissected her every stat line, every turnover, every so-called rookie mistake. And you know Caitlin Clark sees it all. This isn't just a return to court. It's a statement. She's here to remind the league and the world who she is. There's a different kind of fire that comes with proving people wrong. And Caitlin Clark, she's about to set the court on fire. And while we're here, can we take a second to shout out Lexie Hull? The woman's got black eyes like she just walked off the set of Creed 4, and she's still playing her heart out. That's grit. That's the backbone of this Fever team. Players stepping up, grinding through adversity, refusing to fold. Now, with their leader back in the mix, they're no longer outmatched, they're dangerous. Coach Stephanie White knows it too. You could feel the shift in tone when she confirmed Clark's return. This wasn't just an update. It was a rallying cry. She's talking about ball movement, playing through contact, getting disciplined, because now they've got the piece that brings it all together. Tactically, this changes everything. The Fever can finally run their real offense again. No more scrambling to patch together minutes. No more hesitant passing or desperation threes. With Clark at the helm, this becomes a team with structure, rhythm, identity. And more importantly, threat level. The gravity she brings on offense forces teams to prepare differently. You can't play the Fever the same way anymore. One mistake, one misrotation, 1 second too slow, and she'll bury you from 30 feet out. And look, this isn't just WNBA fans paying attention. The entire basketball world is watching. Because love her or not, Caitlin Clark gets people talking. She stirs up passion, debate, excitement, the kind of discourse that makes the league trend, not just when she scores, but when she shows up. From social media buzz to national headlines, this comeback isn't just good for Indiana. It's good for the league, for growth, for viewership, for every little girl in the crowd wearing a number 22 jersey, waiting for a logo 3. So yes, this is about basketball, but it's also about momentum, for the team, for the sport, for the story. Because make no mistake, Clark's return is the beginning of a new chapter, not just a comeback, a climax, the part where everything shifts, the stakes get higher, and every possession feels like it matters again. The Fever are no longer background characters in someone else's highlight reel. They're writing their own now. And if Caitlin Clark has anything to say about it, which she does, with her handles, her shooting, her vision, then this team isn't just here to show up. They're here to shock people. So, whether you're a diehard fan, a casual watcher, or someone who's only tuning in because of the hype, buckle up, because this return, it's not just a feel-good moment of the season. It might just define it. And now we're turning it over to you. Are you ready for the second act of Caitlin Clark's rookie saga? Is this the push the Fever need to become real contenders? Or are the doubters about to get a whole lot louder? Drop your takes in the comments. Let the debates begin. And if you're here for the drama, the comebacks, and the chaos, subscribe, because we're not missing a second of what comes next. This isn't just a return from injury situation. This is a hero's entrance. The "you thought it was over" moment. Caitlin Clark isn't just stepping back onto the court. She's stepping into the biggest spotlight of her young career, with the entire WNBA orbiting around her like she's the sun. And don't think for 1 second she doesn't know it. You can feel it in the atmosphere. Something's shifted. There's electricity now. That tense, charged feeling you get before a storm rolls in. You know it's coming. You just don't know what it's going to blow away. And for the teams hoping to coast through the rest of the regular season without running into problems, Caitlin Clark is the storm. Let's be real for a second. This is the worst-case scenario for any opposing coach who is just starting to feel good about their playoff position. Because game planning against the Fever without Clark? Doable. Tough but manageable. Game planning against them with her? Suddenly, everything gets complicated. Every defensive scheme has to change. Every scout tape becomes a horror film. Because there are very few players in the league who can single-handedly swing the momentum of a game from a dead crawl to an avalanche. Caitlin is one of them. Whether it's a deep three that makes a crowd implode or a flashy pass that turns into an easy bucket, she brings that X-Factor energy that coaches fear and fans live for. And the irony? She was never supposed to carry this much weight this early. Clark came into the WNBA already anointed. The expectations were insane. She was the most talked about rookie in years, and the pressure was thick enough to choke on. But between the early media frenzy and the growing pains of adjusting to the pro game, she was still figuring it out when the injury hit. It would have made perfect sense to take her time. Heal slowly. Come back cautiously. But that's not Caitlin Clark's style, is it? No, she's not interested in easing back in. She's not here to just play minutes. She's here to change the direction of the entire season. And she knows this league has been watching, waiting, judging. The hot, Takes came fast when she went down. The critics were circling like vultures. Some said she was overhyped, that she couldn't handle the physicality, that she was getting exposed. And now, she's got receipts to cash. You don't have to be a sports psychologist to see it. That fire, that bite in her game, it's not just about winning. It's about proving something. Proving that she belongs. That she's already one of the most impactful players in the league. That the hype wasn't just smoke, it was a warning. So let's talk numbers, because this isn't just about vibes. When Clark is on the floor, the Fever's entire offensive identity clicks into place. Transition scoring improves. Ball movement becomes dangerous. Spacing? Lethal. Defenders have to pick up 30 feet out, which opens a lane for Boston to dominate inside. Kelsey Mitchell gets better looks. The whole team elevates. It's like dropping a queen into a game of checkers. Suddenly, every move matters. And it's not just the offense. You'd be surprised how much better a defense plays when they know their offense can strike at any second. The intensity goes up. The confidence multiplies. They stop playing scared. Because that's what Clark brings, belief. She drags the team into a higher gear, whether they're ready or not. And look, it's not just the Fever riding this wave. The entire league stands to benefit from this return. You think it's a coincidence that ticket sales spike when her name is on the lineup? That viewership jumps? That national broadcasts rearrange their schedules for a Caitlin Clark return game? No. This is what happens when a player becomes a phenomenon. There are rookies. There are stars. And then there are cultural moments. Caitlin Clark is the latter. But with all that excitement comes the pressure. The eyes. The expectations. It's not fair, really. She's barely into her first pro season, and she's already being treated like the face of a franchise and the league. But that's the reality she's in. And you know what? She's leaning into it. Because this isn't someone who backs down. This is someone who relishes the big moment, who hears the noise and responds by pulling up from the logo without hesitation. She's not here to be safe. She's here to shift the balance. And don't underestimate the timing of this return. We're getting dangerously close to playoff mode, and every game from this point on carries more weight. The Fever have been floating near the edge, close enough to make a run, but just unstable enough to fall apart. With Clark back, that margin of error gets a lot wider. Now they can play to win, not just to survive. And for the rest of the league, there's panic in the group chat. No one wants to see the Fever in a first-round matchup. When Clark is hot, no one wants to be the team that gets torched for 35 in her I'm back game. And everyone knows that if she finds her rhythm heading into the postseason, chaos is coming. And the fans? Oh, the fans are thriving. There's an entire subsection of WNBA Twitter currently in full meltdown mode over this news. The Caitlin Clark hive has reactivated. The jersey sales? About to go wild. The highlight compilations? Already loading. This is about to become a moment. So what do we do now? We watch. We lean in. We hold our breath every time she crosses half court with that locked-in look on her face. Because the second she pulls up and drains one of those absurd deep threes, the comeback won't just be complete. It'll be undeniable. And for every critic, every doubter, every she's not built for this tweet, well, let's just say Clark's got a very specific way of responding, and it usually involves a net, a ball, and a dagger from 30 feet out. So get ready, because the court's about to heat up. The season just found its pulse again, and the league? It's bracing for a surge of attention, drama, and pure basketball chaos. The Indiana Fever have their leader back. The WNBA just got its main character. And everyone else? They better start rewriting their scouting reports. Because Caitlin Clark just hit resume. You know how some people walk into a room and the entire mood changes? That's what Clark does to arenas. Except it's not just rooms. It's markets, narratives, expectations. Her return flips the league's tempo. The WNBA was cruising. Now, it's accelerating. Let's talk power dynamics for a second. Because what Clark's return really does is disrupt the WNBA's unofficial hierarchy. Before her injury, the top-tier teams were stacking wins, building chemistry, asserting dominance. Everyone else? Hanging on, grinding out possessions, trying to stay in the conversation. But now, the Fever are no longer the plucky little underdog team you can overlook. They're the unpredictable wild card, the chaos agent. They've got the ultimate swing piece, someone who can drop 25 and torch your defensive game plan without blinking. And no one knows what version of Clark is coming back. Is it the Clark who orchestrates clean surgical offense? The Clark who launches threes with sniper precision? Or the Clark who hits you with a behind-the-back diamond transition that leaves your jaw on the floor? Here's the scary part. It might be all of them. And that's the beauty of this moment. It's unknowable, unwritten. We're standing right on the edge of something that could go any direction. Maybe she struggles. Maybe she lights the league on fire. Maybe she redefines what a rookie comeback looks like. The suspense? It's elite. But let's go even deeper. There's a very real emotional weight attached to this return, especially for fans who followed Clark since college. They watched her torch defenses at Iowa. They watched her hit logo threes like they were free throws. They believed in her long before the WNBA draft even happened. And when she got hurt, when the narrative turned sour, when the headlines shifted from admiration to skepticism, those fans stuck around. This comeback? It's for them. It's for every person who watched Clark's ascent and thought, she's changing the game, because she is, not just through performance, but through presence. There's a gravitational pull to her. Whether you love her or roll your eyes at the hype, you tune in. You care. And that's impact. Meanwhile, the Fever front office has to be walking around like they just won the lottery again. Not only did they lock in the most polarizing, electric rookie in years, but now she's returning just in time to flip their season from lukewarm to white-hot. You can practically hear the ticket printers working overtime. Home game attendance, about to skyrocket. Merch, flying off shelves. Sponsorships, they're dialing in with cash in hand. You want a growth moment for a franchise? This is it. And here's a little twist for you. Clark's return is actually a test case for the WNBA's future. The league's trying to grow, expand, push deeper into the cultural mainstream. But to do that, it needs more than just skill. It needs stories, characters, clashes, comebacks. Clark's journey, from dominant college player to polarizing rookie to injured star to high-stakes return, is the exact kind of storyline that makes a league matter. You want casual fans to become loyal ones? Give them drama, resilience, something to root for. This is that moment. Now, let's shift gears and talk about the target on her back, because you better believe it's there. This isn't a warm welcome. This is a test. Every defender in the league wants a piece. Opposing guards are circling this return date on their calendars. They want to prove something, too, that all the headlines, the record-breaking viewership, the media circus, that it's not because of Clark's game, but in spite of it. And if you think Clark doesn't know that, you haven't been paying attention. She's walking into arenas knowing full well that every possession is going to be physical, that refs won't always call it, that fans will dissect every turnover, every missed shot, that critics are waiting to pounce. And yet, she's still coming. Because Clark's not built for safety. She's built for challenge. She thrives in tension, in pressure, in that beautiful, uncomfortable place where expectations and opportunities slam into each other like a head-on collision. But hey, pressure makes diamonds, right? And there's something else brewing here. Team chemistry. We don't talk about this enough, but Clark's return is going to shift locker room dynamics. Everyone has to recalibrate. Players who stepped up while she was out might now be returning to supporting roles. Rotations will change. Touches will shift. And that's not always smooth. But if Clark can walk in not just as a scorer in the face of the franchise, but as a glue that holds the locker room together, that's when things go from good to dangerous. Because the Fever are already gritty. We've seen it. They've battled through adversity, held their own with duct tape lineups, and taken hits like champs. Now imagine adding confidence to that. Imagine adding swagger. That's what Clark brings, a belief that no matter the score, no matter the run, you're still in it because you've got her. And while we're here, can we talk about the ripple effect on other teams' fan bases? This is where things get real spicy. There's already a love-hate dynamic with Clark across the league. Some fans see her as a breath of fresh air. Others think the attention she gets is overblown. But her return? It's going to reignite every take, every rivalry, every Twitter war. We're about to see WNBA discourse crank up to unbearable levels. And I say that lovingly, because that kind of fire is what keeps leagues alive. It's what pushes narratives forward. The good, the bad, the messy, it all matters. And let's not forget the younger generation. You think there aren't thousands of young hoopers out there who've been checking injury reports every day, waiting for this update, watching YouTube highlight reels, practicing logo threes and driveways, pretending to be Clark. This isn't just a return. It's a green light for the next generation to dream bigger. Representation isn't always about being perfect. It's about showing up, showing fight, showing what it means to struggle and still keep going. Clark's comeback is going to inspire kids way beyond basketball. You want long-term growth for the WNBA? You build it through moments like this. So yeah, this isn't just a mid-season storyline. It's a pivot point. If Clark comes back strong, if she shakes off the rust, if she leads a playoff push with highlight reels and clutch moments, we'll look back and say this was a turning point. Not just for the Fever, not just for Clark, but for the entire league. So what's next? Only everything. The lights are on. The cameras are rolling. The stage is set. Now we wait for tip-off and whatever madness follows. And if you're still not feeling the goosebumps, check your pulse. Because the comeback just began, and it's already legendary. Now let us know in the comments, what are your expectations? Is Clark about to go nuclear? Or is this return going to be more complicated than anyone thinks? Should teams fear the Fever now? Or is the hype train too loud? And if you're still here, still watching, still ready for more chaos, make sure you subscribe. Because this isn't the end of the story. It's the start of the real one.